Hi everyone. A little story for you this morning. 1967, I started college. After a couple of years, I had learned everything there was to know about college, about the world, about everything. Was brilliant. I knew everything. And so I decided to drop out of college and join the Navy. It was a really intelligent decision. And I thought I had the answer. I was looking for something that probably wasn't there, but that's what you do when you're 19 years old. You look for things. And so I had a really pretty nice time when I first joined. I got some nice stateside assignments, and I took a nice Mediterranean cruise on a flagship, and really did a lot of sightseeing, and it was a lot of fun. And then in 1972, I got into a little accident and I ended up going to St. Albans Naval Hospital, the place I was born. Talk about going full circle. My father was a career soldier, 27 years in the Army. Actually, he's the one who told me to join the Navy. He said, "You'll always have a clean bed." That was true. Anyway, so while I was in the hospital, my ship, the Little Rock, the flagship, sailed. They were going on a North Atlantic cruise, which is like the best cruise. And I missed it. And so when I got out of the hospital, they sent me to Brooklyn Navy Yard to wait orders for my next duty station. After a couple of months, my orders came in. Report to Naval Station Subic Bay, Philippines, to meet the USS Suribachi. Went home and told my dad and my mom. I says, "I'm going on the Suribachi." My father said, "Whose Navy did you join?" I didn't know anything about the Suribachi. They didn't have an internet in those days. I asked people, "What do you know about it?" They said, "You'll find out." Well, Suribachi is a volcano. It's on the island of Iwo Jima, and that famous picture of the Marines raising the flag, that's on Mount Suribachi. Suribachi was an ammunition ship, and ammunition ships are named after volcanoes. That's just the way it was. So where I was, a sailor full of spit and polish. I was a really good sailor, actually. And I jumped on a plane, flew to San Francisco, from San Francisco to Alaska, from Alaska to Hawaii, from Hawaii to Guam, from Guam to Japan, from Japan to the Philippines. I made it. But my ship wasn't there. They were out on the line. See, what the Suribachi did was other ships would come alongside and we would throw lines across and transfer ammunition, so the ships didn't have to come back into port. They did it out on the line. So after a couple of weeks, the Suribachi did pull back into port, and I was like, wow, this is different. It was orange. It was so full of red lead paint. And the sailors all had long beards. It was like a different Navy. I said, I understand what they meant by you'll find out. And so we went out after a couple more weeks of being in port. We went out again, and it was pretty boring, transferring ammunition. That was actually, I was in charge of ammunition transfer. And like I said, ships would come alongside of us. We were in the Gulf of Tonkin in the South China Sea, which is really North Vietnam. We were bombing Cambodia at the time. And it was, relatively routine work. And one night we were sitting in the mess decks and we were watching a movie, and all of a sudden someone sounded general quarters, which is, battle stations. And we ran, and we were under attack. A MiG was attacking us. We had guns, but, pea shooters compared to what these MiGs could do. And so we were firing back at them, but it was useless. And lucky the aircraft carrier that was with us sent up their planes, and they shot the MiG down. I have a great picture of that, actually. But the reality set in. The reality that this is life and death. This is, the real deal. I found out later that if we ever got hit, we would destroy everything in a 7-mile radius. We were just carrying so much ammunition. When I got back into port, the first thing I did was go to the San Paquita Club, which is the the club on base and had a couple of drinks. I needed that. And then after that, I went to see the chaplain. I told him, you know, I'm scared. I'm nervous. I'm anxious. I'm afraid. And he says, we're all afraid, son. We don't know what this is like, but we just know that we have to do it. We have a job that we have to do. So get out there and do it. And trust in God. Well, good advice. Real advice. And I survived, obviously, because I'm here. Fast forward 50 years, where we are now. We're in another war. It's a different kind of war, different kind of enemy, but war is war. There's nothing good about war. There's nothing glorious about war. It consumes us with fear and anxiousness and nervousness and distress, and it really upsets our lives. And that's where we are today. And so when I once went to the chaplain for advice, I'm the chaplain now. And people are coming to me, what do we do? And all I can say is the same thing that chaplain told me, and having a much closer relationship with God now than I did 50 years ago, is trust. Pray. Know that God has our backs. And things will be okay. I know it doesn't look like it right now, and things may be lightening up, but this is a real threat to our society, just as any enemy would attack us. You have every right to be nervous, to be afraid, to be anxious, but don't let it overcome you. Trust that God delivers the promises that He says He will. 50 years ago, I thought my life was over, and here I am now, telling you that we have so much to live for, and so much to be hopeful for, and so much to be thankful for, that God is with us, even, and maybe not just even, especially in our distress. Hang in there. God is with us. God is always with us. Amen? Have a blessed day. See you tomorrow.